Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our data Discord updates. And yeah, speaking of the data Discord updates, you get a lot of them every single day. And what is happening right now, it's not really bullish because the bullish scenario seems to get more and more unlikely every single hour. As you can see, we dropped below the 0.786 support level of the first wave right here. And yeah, it's not looking good. Keep in mind the invalidation is right here where it says invalidation. It's at 76.1 cents, and once we get below that level we will most likely drop to the next extension right here for a fourth wave move down, and I think this will turn into an ABC structure, meaning that we could drop to about 67.6 cents. And keep in mind this is the 0.786 support level, which means that we could drop below this as well. And I don't know what will happen after that. Like I told you many times, until we get 5 waves up, I cannot turn bullish, and we do not have 5 waves up. We only have a 1, 2, 3, 4 setup, and I mean this setup is not really good because it's a diagonal, and if it's a diagonal, I told you this in my couple of other videos, it's not really to be trusted, which means that we might never get 5 waves, and this could just turn into a bearish pattern. And what bearish pattern? Well, a much bigger ABC structure, and that could put us at a double bottom right here at 50 cents, or even to the 0.786 support level, which is at 38 cents. I don't know which scenario will play out, but this scenario is starting to become more and more likely, and I think we get to the 0.618 again very soon. Now if we do not, and if we do not invalidate the setup, we could get a bounce, and I got rid of the zone for the third wave because right now we don't need it. I mean, the price is going down, and I think Bitcoin and Ethereum will start going down as well very soon, which means that Cardano is going to continue dropping. And yeah, things are not looking too good, but keep in mind we are still above the bull market support band, and even though we had a cross, we managed to stay above the bull market support band for quite some time. So even if we drop right now, and even if we get like 50 cents in the next couple of weeks, it's still going to be good, because in the next couple of weeks we will also have another cross on the bull market support band, and the green line of the bull market support band will go above the red line. And every single time that has happened in the last couple of years, every single time it happened, we went up quite a lot. Here is an example. I mean, here we went up like 300% in a matter of like 1 month or so, and I think the same thing will happen again, but we need to be patient because it's not going to happen this week or next week. It's gonna take some time to get across, but the fact that we are above the bull market support band right now is bullish because the cross will actually happen faster. So this is actually very good, but we could drop lower. Now we also have the trend line right here on the chart, and basically we are still in an uptrend, and maybe we will use this trend line right here. And yeah, that means that we will drop below the 0.786 support level here, but maybe we will not invalidate the third wave. And I mean, who knows at this point? It's really hard to say, because if Bitcoin gets a drop to like $75,000, it's likely that Cardano drops to like 50 cents again. I mean, this all depends on what ADA Bitcoin is doing, and right now ADA Bitcoin is going down and it's about to test the bull market support band. We did not really form 5 waves up here, which means that we could get another low in the second wave right here, and maybe even a double bottom. I've talked about this scenario many times, and I know people were bullish when I was talking about it, but I told you not to get too bullish, because in the previous cycle, after we formed this 1-2 setup, we had a fake out above the bull market support band, just like we did right here. We had a 1-2 setup and then a fake out, and look at what happened after that. We went down and we put in another low after this low right here, and right now we could do the exact same thing, which means that we could drop to about 500 satoshis, and if that happens, that will only happen if Bitcoin drops and if Cardano gets a much bigger drop, and this could happen, and you have to be aware of that. Now of course the low could be in right here, and maybe we will only get another low that puts us at like 600 satoshis, but even so, I'm expecting ADA to underperform against Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks. Now, this does not really change anything because I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to still start dropping by the end of March, but until the end of March, I think the market will take a hit, and then when QE starts, hopefully, on let's say March 19th, if it does start, then we could start going up then. But if it does not start in March, and if we stay in QT for another couple of months. I still think the altcoin season will happen, and let me explain why. Basically, in the 2017 cycle, even though we were in QT the whole time right here, the altcoin season still started, so it's a possibility that Bitcoin dominance still goes down, even if we stay in QT, because we did it right here, so why would it not be possible to happen again, you know? We cannot just base this theory based on what happened in the previous cycle. Maybe this cycle is a combination of what happened in a couple of cycles before this, and, well, we only have 2 cycles for Bitcoin dominance, but still, I mean, it's still a good, you know, thing to look at, and it's good data. Also, I want to talk about what's happening right now. Bitcoin dominance is going sideways, and this is actually very, very bullish, and I want to explain why. If you look at what happened in the previous cycle before we got this huge drop on the Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance actually went sideways from, let's say, February until the end of March, and also until, let's say, the beginning of April or so, and then we started going down, and this was the beginning of the altcoin season, and right now we are going sideways again, and maybe we'll just continue going sideways until the end of March, and then we do something like this, and this would make sense. Keep in mind, most of the altcoins are ready to go in a third wave of the third wave, which means that, I mean, Cardano could be at all-time highs by the end of April, and it's actually supposed to be at all-time highs, at least based on what happened in the previous cycle. From this high to this high, it took about 1,337 days, which means that from the 2021 high to the next high, it would have to take another 1,337 days, and that would put us at the end of April. Is that possible? Well, we are in a similar looking scenario right now. The pattern is the exact same, and I think from a pattern point of view, we are down here, which means that we are about to have the last drop, and then we could go up. And of course, if we get a drop like 50 cents, the pattern is not going to look the same anymore, but it's still going to be okay as long as we actually stay above the 0.618 support level. If we do not stay above 50 cents, it's not going to be bullish. I mean, here, for example, when we went down, we never formed another low, we just stayed in an uptrend, and you could say that there was some kind of trend line here, and right now we seem to be doing the exact same thing. So we do not really need to drop to 50 cents again to prove that Cardano can get, you know, a third wave of a third wave, but it's possible that we test the trend line at least, and if we do not stay above it, then yeah, 50 cents is going to become more and more likely, and this will just turn into a much bigger ABC structure. But I mean, the setup is not invalidated, at least not yet. I mean, we are at 80 cents, and the invalidation for the small 1-2 setup that we have on the chart, which is, I mean, this right here, this very small 1-2 setup, it's at 76 cents. We'll see if we keep this or not. If we actually bounce, then I'm going to put back the third wave target, but I mean, right now it seems to be a little bit too late. I mean, we got below the support level and we do not seem to be, you know, bouncing, so I think this will get invalidated, and I think it will happen very, very soon. I also want to talk about Bitcoin for a second. Bitcoin keeps getting rejected by the bull market support band, and I think we will have a much bigger drop. I've been talking about this for weeks, and what would cause this drop? Well, we got rejected by the bull market support band, and also we had a cross on the bull market support band, like let's say about almost a month ago. Well, not almost, let's say about 2-3 weeks or so. And yeah, I mean, we got rejected by it multiple times, and usually this means that we will have another bigger drop, which could put us at the 50% extension of the fourth wave, which is the fourth wave of the main third wave move, which means that even if we dropped like the 618, which is at $69,000, things are still going to be bullish as long as we actually bounce here, and I'm still expecting the third wave to be finished by the end of May. I have talked about this many times, I don't want to explain why. I'm probably going to explain why again in one of my future videos, but for now I don't really want to say that. And basically also Ethereum, if you look at the Ethereum chart, it's not bouncing, and it's exactly at the 50% extension of the fourth wave move down. We got to this extension like 4 times, maybe even 5 times already, and we never bounced, meaning that we will most likely get a much bigger drop, and Ethereum might test the 0.618 support level, or maybe even the 0.786 support level before we get a bounce in the fifth wave. Now, I still think Ethereum will be at all-time highs by the end of the year. I still think it will get to new all-time highs, and that has not changed. However, in the short term at least, I am expecting another low, and I've been talking about this for quite some time now, and if it does happen, and when it happens, I think it will scare off a lot of people, and many people will sell here, only for it to go up like this after that, and people will just lose interest in crypto because, you know, during this time, people probably bought up here or up here, and they will be down like 50%, maybe even more. Yeah, actually even more, like 60%. And of course, people do not want to lose money, but that's what happens when you buy these tops, and that's what happens when you FOMO in and you do not actually time the market and try buying when it's at bear market lows. For example, down here or even down here, it would still be good. And if you bought like in 2023, you would still be fine right now, even if it dropped to like $1,700. And I know many people are complaining about Ethereum, and they are complaining about the fact that it's not going up, but you have to keep in mind Bitcoin dominance is at 61%. Of course, Ethereum is not going up, but once Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, that will be, the time for Ethereum and the other altcoins to start moving as well. And I'm still thinking that Cardano will get to all-time highs soon. Now, like I said many times, if we are not at all-time highs by the end of May, it's not going to be good, because I'm expecting a huge drop in the summer, and that drop has happened 3 times in the last 3 cycles, so I think it will happen again. And for those that are saying that maybe this cycle is different, well, maybe it is, but also maybe it's not, and maybe that drop will still happen. And if it does happen, we have to be prepared for it, and we obviously cannot afford for Cardano to be at like $1 when it happens, because during that time Bitcoin will most likely drop about 50%, maybe even more. In the last cycle, for example, it dropped like 55%, and this took like 2 months, and during this time altcoins dropped quite a lot. So we do not really want to be in this situation, and we definitely do not want the altcoins to be near bear market lows when it happens and if it happens. So yeah, be prepared for anything, and like I told you many times, things are still going to be okay in the long term in my opinion. And that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.